Well, it's warming up. Alright guys, so here's what we've been waiting for. We have our rocker panels now. These are slip-on rocker panels. They don't come with the end for the cab mount or for the cab corner. And this is the driver's side one. And it slips on just like so. The fit's okay, but we have a lot to do to get it to go on. If you were to look underneath, you can see a healthy gap. Like I can nearly fit my fingers between the rocker panel original and the old one. So to get it to fit up to this seam, we've definitely got some trimming to do. Now it doesn't fit super tight here. There's a curve here. I don't know if that's damage from shipping or what it is. And also this is showing overlap here, which means it's supposed to go under. This area looks like it fits good. It's a little bit longer than the original rocker panel here, but again, with that bend, I'm going to have to notch it over here to bring it back to really fit in good. So therein lies the fun. But I think we're going to be able to make something happen, and I'm going to get some tools together to start cutting up the old rocker panel and get inside and see what we've really got going on in there. Alright, we'll be right back.
Oh boy. Nummy.
That's what we weren't expecting. Well, sort of. We were expecting it, but not really. But boy, look at the dent delete we just did. Tons of dent. Done. We look a little closer. And we're knocking muck out of this rocker, which is the reason why they rot out. They get mud built up into the joints and the seams. Like, look all along here. Just awesome, isn't it?
Nummy.
No, I have pulled apart a lot worse. I'm still quite happy with this truck. Alright, if we look up in here,
ow,
get my light in there. That looks really good. Really nice. We got a lot to work with. Down here, the edge of the rocker panel's been beat in. Instead of being nice and straight like back here, it's folded under, so we'll have to fold that back and straighten it. And I'll cut a little bit more of this out. Get rid of some more of these rocks and mud, that kind of stuff. Old seam sealer. Yeah, that's not so bad. That's what I was hoping to see. All right. Now the fun part begins. Because if I put this up here, we're still a ways away from making it fit. Still have to bring this edge over here. They got to pinch together. That's our goal, is to make those two pinch together. And because it fits so nice right here, well, we got a lot to do to make those two fit. But we have to remove some more structure and and then we can begin. Alright, I'm going to dig up a few more tools, and then I'll show you what we're going to use to work with this. Where to begin? We have some surprises. So initially, I started cleaning off where the spot welds are. I figured the nicest way to put this in would be to remove this section of panel to about here and back here. There's a dent right here. I can pull that back out. Almost moves by hand. And the rocker panel was crushed in. I got it bent back out some, but I have to get the layer of outer rocker panel off, and then I can hammer and dolly it much straighter. Pretty good. While I was under there though, I noticed two things. And let me see if I can get you in there. So I got my spot weld cutters, my grinder bit, center punch for the spot weld cutters, drill bits. Like, we're set up, we're ready to start drilling out these spot welds pretty happily. Until this. Let me see if I can get under here and I'll get Nat to pass me the camera. Yeah, this will work. Okay. Now, what do we got? Well, that's pretty clear. So here's the rocker panel. Here's the rocker panel. Like I said, it's not straight yet, but it will be. I got to get this layer off. Underneath looks great. Let me see if I can get a light on this. My LEDs aren't there. See, no rust. That looks fantastic in there. Even there, that looks good. Looks really good. But this is what's left of the outer extension of our cab mount. See a cab mount right there? The big channel that runs along the back of the frame, or the back of the truck cab, terminates in rust. And there was a pile of mud in there, and it is what it is, and that's fine. But we weren't planning on repairing this, and now we're going to repair it. So that's more work involved, but the crowning touch is right over here, the cab mount. I'm gonna get Nat to shake the cab at the back here, and you guys pay attention to that guy. See if I can bring some light on it. I don't know if you guys can see that. Yeah, it's moving detached from the frame. This whole cab mount is broken right off.
Am I still rocking?
You're good now. So that cab mount has to be replaced. And then I got thinking, what the heck? I'll give you the camera. So if you go right in here, now you can really see. Can you see how disconnected that is? Right, like that. Like I can fit my finger between it. It's shot. It's broken right off. So a guy can, maybe I can pick up. Yeah, you see that? Not connected. So if we go over to the passenger side, because you start wondering, now thankfully, feeling underneath here, this is the cab mount that I'm talking about, on the body. It actually feels really good right down to the rocker. It's scaly with some rust, but it's good. But this has been welded very poorly and not welded across the top at all, and it's dropped down and actually twisted. So this has to come off the frame. That one has to come off the frame. So these are the surprises. Like, we came into this job with no real expectation, which is keeping my sanity. We're doing rocker panels. We were planning on that. That's fine. Now I got to fix a cab corner, the understructure for the cab mount, panel. And both cab mounts on the rear of the frame need to be replaced, which is probably why he had such a heck of a time lining up his front clip and his doors. I would say the cab is twisted right now. And it's also probably one of the two reasons why he had so many problems getting the truck box to line up with the cab and the body lines. I mean, if your cab mounts aren't attached properly, you're not going to be able to get the box that bolts solidly to the frame. You're not going to be able to get that to match nicely with the cab, where it's always going to be tweaked or whatever. So we're at a kind of a crossroads here. I got to decide if we're going to be taking the truck box outside, build a platform, and actually tilt the cab back onto the frame so I can weld up the back section of it. And if I do that, it's going to be just as easy to do the rocker panel standing up instead of on my knees or underneath the vehicle and spattering weld everywhere. But I got to talk to Danny about it, and we're going to go ahead with the repairs, of course, but I just got to keep him in the loop. It is his truck, and we're going to have to get some more steel. I'm actually out of 18 gauge steel, so I'm thinking 14 gauge is going to be better for that cab mount in the long run anyway. And I'll have to take a closer look at this once the cab is tilted up to see how scaly the rust is on this. It feels solid, but heck, the rocker panels felt solid, so I'm taking nothing for granted here right now. All it means is the job is going to take a little longer. Like I had aspirations of painting this mid to end of February, and with all the other stuff happening, the compressor crapping out, damaging my hand, etc., etc. You know, it's a typical job with life involved. Not worried about that, but we're gonna have to consider the easiest way to do this with time frame in mind. So as far as a perfect job, there's no such thing in my books. But as far as a solid job that's going to happen, yes. Is it going to take longer than expected? It almost always does. I think the only job in the last 2 years I've done that came on the proper time frame was that little fun paint job I did on my Dodge Caliber. So that was kind of an in and out, and it worked. It's very satisfying. This will become satisfying. It's just going to take longer. But we got to go backwards to go forwards. So this is what we're dealing with. We started with one section of it. It has ballooned into other sections, and such is life. But if it was easy, everyone would do it. Anyway, guys, we're going to leave this video right there, and stay tuned for the next one when we're going to be tipping the cab back and off the frame, and make some more room in here. The truck box has to go out, etc., etc. And I hope some of you are getting something out of this. So far it just seems like a mess. We haven't really repaired anything as of yet, and you got to get to the point of least destruction so you can build back from there and fix everything along the way before we can finally finish up our cab. But that's going to do it for Dave at Dave's Lawyer Shop Works. Hope you guys enjoyed, and stay tuned for the next one. We'll see you later.